All right. Is All right, we are live. Give it a few minutes. See if anyone. All right. Uh Lockerizations says he's gonna hit $55,000 in sales. Congratulations, man. That's awesome. Hey Jen, welcome. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay, awesome. Gonna give it a few minutes, wait for some more people to show up before we get started. What's up, Mark? Mark, I know you probably have a ton of questions since you're such a noob, so feel free to leave them in the comments and I'll make sure to answer them for you, Mark. Don't worry. Mark knows I'm kidding. He's much more experienced than I am. Mark says he's tempted to try optimization. You know, it can't hurt to try it. Why not, right? I'm gonna try your method. So it might be a good case study for each of us to try each other's methods and see what works. Jessica's back from Puerto Rico. Welcome. Monade Pierre, if I'm saying your name right, wants to know how sales are this month. So this is December. Sales have been really, really good. Today slowed down a little bit, which is kind of what we expected because we can no longer guarantee delivery by Christmas. So I don't think people are going to be buying Christmas gifts from us anymore. But yeah, sales were really good the past few weeks. Yeah, Mark, I will send you my email. It's just thehustlehusbands@gmail.com. Actually, anyone can email me there if you have any questions ever, or just leave them in the comments. All right, Ashley's here. The party can start. Awesome. All right, I'm going to start answering some of these questions just in 1 minute. I just got to pull up all the questions I was asked this week. Monday wants to know, can you drop ship from Home Depot to Amazon? You can do that if you know how to. It's a bit complicated dropshipping onto Amazon. I know Mark's making a course about it, and we did a little bit of it a few weeks ago. It definitely worked, but it's a big challenge. Very, very hard. Yeah, Hulk says no more Home Depot boxes in the background. Yeah, we finally this weekend went out to Home Depot and returned everything. Took us. Uh, we have a small Prius, and we couldn't even fit everything in there. There's a few more boxes back there. So a lot of people were asking questions about why we had so many boxes. So some of the boxes were returns that were made to us before we figured out how to kind of fix this automated return policy that eBay has, which I just made a video about that. So you guys can check that out if you want to know how to turn off or essentially turn off eBay's automatic return policy. Check out that video. But the other problem was that one of my VAs placed an order, and sometimes HomeDepot.com is a little glitchy, and it will automatically change all the shipping addresses to the billing address. And since the billing address is my address, we had 2 orders arrive at our front door of our apartment building while we were away on vacation. And one of our neighbors was kind enough to bring them inside for us because they were cluttering up the hallway of the lobby. So it's kind of a mess, but that's what can happen with Home Depot if you don't know how to use it. It's a fairly easy fix if you know how, but you kind of have to know what to do with it to prevent that from happening. Okay, so some of the questions I got this week. Jane wanted to know, when I first started, did I sell products with the minimum $45 to qualify for free shipping from Home Depot? So no, at first I sold any and all items. That's what I still do. But for items under $45, I marked them up $6 to cover the shipping costs. And then once I started to sell at least $45 worth of products a day, I just pocketed that extra $6. Hulk says he thought the boxes look cool for the channel, especially because we like Home Depot so much. Yeah, that's a good point. But it didn't really make our apartment look too nice. It's kind of cluttered. But if I ever get like an office, maybe I'll just stack it with Home Depot boxes behind me. Or maybe I'll just get like a green screen and then superimpose Home Depot boxes back there. Jean Paul wants to know why use Home Depot gift cards. So yeah, that's kind of what I was just talking about with Home Depot. So like I said, sometimes they'll change the shipping addresses to the billing address. One way to help prevent that is with gift cards. If you use gift cards, there's less problems we've noticed with orders going to the wrong address. It's just a funny, imperfect website, Home Depot, and that kind of helps with it a lot. PFC Wills wants to know what we told Home Depot when we brought all the packages to return them. Or when you go to Home Depot to refill the gift cards, do they ever question you? So we just said we got the items, we didn't want them anymore. It's very simple to return them. And we refill the gift cards online. There's a way to refill them online. I've never had a problem with it. Monday wants to know if we can use multiple addresses during checkout in Home Depot. Yes, absolutely. So what's great about Home Depot, and I know other websites like Bed Bath & Beyond does this, is that you can qualify for the free shipping and still ship the items to multiple addresses. So you should definitely take advantage of those opportunities when the sources have them. Jay Chan wants to know if we buy gift cards in bulk. We don't buy discounted gift cards. We just refill them every night from the Home Depot website. How many items do we sell a day? It depends on the time of year. This time of year, we were selling about 200 items a day. But now that it's going to start slowing down, it's probably going to be closer to about 100 items a day. But yeah, at the peak, we were doing over 200 items a day. PFC Will says that if we refresh the page on Home Depot before we check out, it will tell us if the order is correct. Most of the time that works, but actually not always. Been my experience. I don't know why. I know that works for some people, but it doesn't always work for us. So we just have to check the email that you get from Home Depot after the order is placed, because whatever it says on the email is where the item is going. So sometimes you'll check out and you'll get an order confirmation page, and all the addresses on the order confirmation page will be incorrect. But then you go to the email and it'll have all the correct addresses. And if you call Home Depot, they'll say that whatever's on the email is correct. So that's another weird quirk about Home Depot. Monday wants to know, what is the minimum amount you can put on a Home Depot gift card? I don't think there is a minimum. I know the maximum is, for most cards, is $2,000 within a 24-hour period, but the minimum, I don't think there is one. Jay Chen wants to know if VAs list all our items. That's the one thing where we haven't outsourced yet is listings. We've tried a couple times. We just haven't found a good VA, but we are in the process of training a VA to kind of be a store manager, and I'm hoping that she'll be good enough to list. Mandy says, would I want to purchase something through eBay? I don't know what that is. What is that? Do you only use 4-star ratings to prevent returns? So Monday wants to know, do I only select items from Home Depot that have 4 stars and up? No, not necessarily. I aim for that because that usually means that it's a product that people, if there's reviews, that means people are buying the item and they like it. But I'll go lower, and I haven't had too bad luck with that. Manny's making some crude joke, so I'm just going to ignore that one. Okay. Let's see. Finally Making It wants to know if Home Depot charges for returns, or do they provide return labels with no questions asked? And what is the return window? So Home Depot has free returns on all their items, even if you just return it because you don't want it. And the return window on most items is 90 days. But you have to check the listing because sometimes it's as low as 30 days. So you got to look. Most of the time it's 90 days and it's always free. Really simple to do returns with them. You or your virtual assistant go on the Home Depot website. On the right-hand side of the screen, there'll be a little pop-up that says chat with us. And you can chat with them, give them the order number, tell them you want to return the item, and they will email you a return shipping label, or you can have UPS come and pick it up. I always go with UPS coming to pick up the item because it just makes things easier. I don't have to send the label over to the customer, and the customers like it because the customer would rather have UPS come pick up the box than them having to print out a label, put it on the box, and go over to UPS to send it themselves. Monday wants to know, what do you think about automated fulfill order services? So there's some programs that will automatically fulfill orders. I don't know of one for Home Depot, but I know there's some for Amazon and Walmart. And I've kind of used one. DSM Tool makes it really fast to fulfill orders on Amazon. And if you've been following my series on using DSM Tool, I've been listing using that. I've gotten some sales. I've fulfilled them using this I don't know what to call it, program they have that makes it faster. It's super fast. It's really, really cool. So that's the most I've done. And yeah, I highly recommend it because it's just so easy. But I don't think every source has one. Let's see. Steven says, I've had many orders that HG tells me must return it to the stores, no label. Steven, I've never had that issue. What kind of items are those? I've noticed that for some items with like lithium batteries in them, they can't ship them regular UPS. They have to have special pickups from special carriers. But that's the only weird thing I've seen with returns. Jessica wants to know, if you pay with a gift card on Home Depot, are the returns credited to the same gift card? I've had bad experience with Lowe's. They credit the returns and gift cards, but send the shipping. Yeah, okay. So what Jessica's speaking about is gift cards, and when you return the item, where does the return go? So with Home Depot, if you buy something with a gift card and then it gets returned, Home Depot will email you another gift card. This is great in one regard because you don't have to keep track of old gift cards. You'll get a new one, but it stinks because you might have like a ton of little gift cards that you have to then keep track of, which is kind of a pain, but I just have my virtual assistants do it. The problem that Jessica is speaking about is with Lowe's, which is probably one of the worst sources imaginable. If you buy something with a gift card and then it gets returned, they'll mail a gift card to the customer. So you just get nothing back. And you can try to call them beforehand to have them ship it to you. But the limited experience I have with them, it doesn't always work, or they just don't listen to you and send it to the customer instead. So it's a huge pain. That's one of the reasons I don't use Lowe's, but Home Depot at least is better. And I know with Walmart, if you buy something with a gift card and then it gets returned, it gets credited back to the same gift card. So you kind of got to keep track of all your gift cards, even if you reduce the balance to zero on them. Travis wants to know, using David Vu's method and Home Depot as your supplier, how many active listings did you have when you first started cracking 1 to 2K profit per month? That's a good question. I'm going to have to look back through my records, and I will definitely be making a video about that in the next couple weeks or so, because I don't want to give you an inaccurate number. I got to look through my records. Steve wants to know, do you feel Home Depot items sell slower than Walmart? I have found this in my experience. So here's the interesting thing I've noticed is that I think some sellers on eBay just get really good at certain sources. Like I've gotten really, really good at Home Depot, and I've found that their products sell really, really well for me. And I've tried listing Walmart products. I'm trying it in my new store, and Amazon products, and the sales are much slower. And even when I put the items in my old store to kind of test them, the sales on them are much slower. Meanwhile, you get other people who sell only Walmart. They've gotten very good at selling Walmart, and they try listing Home Depot and they can't sell Home Depot items. So I think it's just, you got to figure out the source and how it works and what products sell and what don't sell. And you kind of got to become a master of it. And I don't think I've become a master of Walmart. And I think I am pretty good at Home Depot. And it seems like you're really good, Stephen, at Walmart, but maybe you just haven't figured out Home Depot yet. So one of my goals for next year is to figure out more sources and really delve into them to figure out how to sell from them, how to get the best profit from them, and which items sell the best from them. Kind of diversify things. Okay, let's see what else we got. Sierra wants to know, what percentage of our sales are international through the global shipping program, and should we exclude any countries? So I'd say about like 20% of my sales are GSP. It's kind of hard for me to tell because I don't fulfill the orders anymore, so I don't really notice. But I'd say about 20% are GSP. I also notice they tend to spend more money. They're more willing to buy more expensive items. That's just been my experience. And there's no countries that I exclude. Sometimes, this for the first time yesterday, I had 2 items come up that they said, that GSP said they couldn't ship out due to weight or size regulations, which I've never seen before. And I haven't gotten a chance to call eBay to figure that out, but I'm going to make a video on that once I do figure out what that was about, because I've never heard of that, size limitations on GSP products or GSP shipments. Travis wants to know, what's your average margin percentage on Home Depot items? So each month, our gross sales, our profit's about 12 to 13% of that. Steve wants to know any problems with Home Depot canceling your order. This is a big issue with my Walmart orders, even using Walmart gift cards. Yeah. So Home Depot never have a problem canceling orders. Rarely things are back ordered. It's very rare. And sometimes, very rarely, my gift card will get declined for some reason, which is very strange if you think about it. But it does happen every once in a while. No big deal. You just replace the order. Walmart that's been my experience too. They cancel a lot of my orders, and at first I just had a few sales with them. Sales went through fine. Then one of my sales was canceled. I was able to get it placed the next day, place a couple more items. It seems like every day I could place less orders before my orders started getting canceled with them. And then I got to the point where I couldn't place any orders unless I had gift cards. And the problem is the only place to buy gift cards besides discounted ones is on Walmart.com. So, and you can't purchase from Walmart.com because they keep canceling your order. So you're kind of stuck and you can't really buy items from them unless you manage to get discounted gift cards, which is not always available. Pip says, hey Pip. Okay. So somebody asked me why some people have 2 different eBay accounts. So some people have 2 different eBay accounts. There's multiple reasons. Some people like to keep their sources separate. I'm talking strictly dropshipping here. So maybe one account would be all Home Depot, one account would be all Amazon, one account would be all Walmart. Just to kind of keep things separate, keep things more organized, keeps it easier for managing. Another reason is just to kind of spread out your risk. Some have these things called stealth accounts. I don't want to get into stealth accounts because I don't know too much about them, but you can Google it. There's a whole lot of information out there about stealth accounts. And you can have one account, your main account, then you have a stealth account, so that if your main account gets shut down, you still have this stealth account that has no association with your shut down account, so you could still sell on the stealth account and still make some money. So that's another reason people have multiple eBay stores. So Hulks is asking about best offers, and he says that some people on best offers make really low offers. So is it worth allowing it? So yeah, I think it's worth it because, like I said in the last video, sometimes you'll get a person who they see an item for $101 and they say, you know what, I don't want to pay $1 over 100. They're just like stuck in their brain. So they make you an offer for $100. And maybe for you, that would have been like a $10 profit. And now it's only like a $9 or $8 profit. But it's better than getting no profit at all, right? So that's why I think you should really go for best offers. If people do lowball you, just come back with a counter offer. Some people believe that the only way to do best offers is to start with like a ridiculously low number. And they don't always mean it to insult you. They just think that's the way they're supposed to bargain. So just come back with a reasonable number that you can afford and then see what they come back with after that. Nico says, did I get your message? I don't think I did. Did you email me, Nico? Dante wants to know a brief overview of how I train my VAs. I can't really do that briefly. Yeah, I'll tell you, I do get my VAs from Upwork or onlinejobs.ph, which I guess I'll have a link to, but I can't really talk about briefly how I train them. It's just because there's so many aspects of the business. But basically you just tell them you got to replace yourself. Just teach them to replace you. And I use a lot of videos. Nico says he sent it on YouTube. I'll check. I didn't know I can get messages on YouTube, but I'll check for that. All right. Monday Pierre sent a message in one of my videos saying that my last video about how to kind of fix eBay's new automatic return policy. you want to know if you want, you can go watch that video after this one. It talks about how you can, set it up so that you'll have to kind of approve your return address every time you get an automatic approval for a return. So Monday wants to know, can you change the address for each return? And yes, you can. The option that the solution I came up with, it will give you the option to change the return address if you wanted to. Steve wants to know, do you spend a lot of time managing your feedback? Yeah. So I kind of do it on a rolling basis where if a negative feedback comes in, I will address it right then and there. And, I usually wait a day because I want things to kind of cool off, and then I'll start to address it and see if I can get it removed. I have to evaluate it and see if it's something that I could just call eBay to get it removed, or if I have to reach out to the buyer and see if they'll revise it after I kind of work with them to relieve the situation. Nico wants to know if November's better than December in terms of sales. Yeah, much better. Sales have been huge this month. Today, they're starting to die down a little bit, slow down, which is to be expected. Not sure what it's going to look like at the end of this month or early next month. I anticipate slow sales, but we'll see. Hopefully, they at least don't go lower than they were before Christmas. Dante wants to know who handles all my customer questions. So right now, there's 3 of us. There's 2 VAs doing it. One is amazing. I hired her right before Black Friday, and she immediately just figured it all out. She's really, really smart. And I hired another one just last week, and she's off to a little bit of slower start, but she's doing well. And I hope by the end of the month, she can kind of replace me because I'm the 3rd person right now. Oh, that's my dog. Travis wants... Hold on a second. Orlando. Let me just grab my dog. I got him. Orlando. Say hi. All right. Sorry about that. The dog doesn't like people outside of our apartment. All right. What retailer would you recommend to dropship on Amazon? I can't really talk about drop shipping on Amazon too much because we only did it for a couple of days. But I imagine it's just whatever works for you on eBay would probably work for you on Amazon to some degree. There's some I definitely wouldn't recommend. The only one that comes to mind is Lowe's, because in my experience with them, they're really bad about shipping out items. They cancel orders a lot, and Amazon is really strict with their metrics, so you don't want to have an unreliable source like that. So whatever source you find that's really reliable, either through your experience dropshipping on eBay or just through buying stuff on your own, that would be a good source to use on Amazon. How long does it take your VAs to complete the orders? So we get, right now it's about 200 orders a day, but it's probably going to go down to 125, maybe even closer to 100 after the holiday season. No, probably not that low, maybe 125. It takes, I have 4 VAs placing orders. It takes each of them 3 to 4 hours each, because there's a lot, and their internet's not always the fastest, which I understand. And but yeah, it's about that. Nico says, generate 3 sales since the weekend, almost $300 in sales. Awesome. Antonio says, yep, Lowe's sucks. I can't agree with you more than that. Travis wants to know what percentage you use when listing on Home Depot. So that changes by the item. At first, I might list it really low if there's a lot of other people selling it, and then I'll raise it up once it starts to sell. If no one else is selling it, I'll sell it at a higher margin. So it could be anywhere from 25 to 40%. One order had a shipping address to Puerto Rico. How do you handle those? So Puerto Rico is excluded as someplace I ship to. I don't ship to Puerto Rico because I don't know how to get items there. I've said this before, like if anyone can figure out how to ship items to Puerto Rico, I think you could make a lot of money because I get a lot of people asking if we could ship the item to Puerto Rico. Antonio wants to know if I give my VAs access to my eBay account. Yeah, I do. At first, I didn't for a long time. I thought of like every way possible not to give them access to it. And there are certainly a lot of ways to get your VAs to do work for you without getting access to eBay. I'll have to go into that another time because there's great software, kind of ways around it if you feel unsafe about it. But I have a lot of VAs that I trust now. They're really loyal. They do great work. And I kind of figure like, what are they going to do? Are they going to buy an item and then ship it to themselves? And like it's not something that they could really do. So they don't want to ruin their own reputation. I pay them well. I treat them well. We have a good loyalty. So yeah, I trust them with the eBay account. But anytime I do fire a VA who has access to any of my passwords, I change those passwords. I saw someone in the group that their VA canceled 13,000 of his listings. That sounds like a nightmare. I've never heard of that. Lockerization wants to know how you keep track of all your sales, profit, cashback, returns. He's selling about 50,000 a month and it's getting difficult managing everything to be organized. Yeah, so in my description, I think I have a link to GoDaddy software. Actually, I don't see it right now, but I'll add it in. It's called GoDaddy Bookkeeping, and it's the only one that I've found that integrates really well with PayPal and eBay. So it will instantly show you your PayPal fees, your eBay fees. Usually it takes about 3 days for your bank records to show up in there, but that's the way that I found works the best. Dante wants to know, what software do you use to work with your VAs? So, I mean, do you mean to talk to them or to have them manage the store? What do you mean by that? BK526 wants to know if I charge a restocking fee. Yeah, so I've experimented with a 20%, a 0, a 15%, and I find it really doesn't make a difference in terms of sales, so I just keep it at 20%. How regularly and aggressively are you purging listings? Have you noticed distinct changes in sales performance based on your sell-through rate? Nick wants to know, hey Nick, how's it going? I've talked about this with Jack before, Jack Pittman. I am really bad at keeping track of metrics and things like that. So I don't even know what my sell-through rate is. It's not something I keep track of. I wish I had more time to do it, but I just keep moving forward. I haven't noticed a change really. I do purge maybe every few months or so. I use fees delister, which I made a video on, but I haven't had a chance to upload it because I have to blur out like a lot of information, and blurring out information just takes forever. So I haven't gotten a chance to do that. But I think if I don't have a link to it in the description, I'll add it, because it's really a very easy way to delist items. Let me add these notes so I don't forget to do this. Okay. Steven wants to know if I use Reply Manager. So yeah, I do use Reply Manager. This is a new thing for me, something I just started using a few weeks ago. They have a 2-week trial. For those of you who don't know, Reply Manager is a way to answer eBay messages without actually logging into eBay. And besides just the fact that this will allow your VAs to answer messages without them having to access eBay, I still have my VAs use it, even though they do have access to eBay, because it just has so much useful information. It will show you the message, and it will show you all the other messages above it that came before it. So it's very easy to see the whole history of your interaction with the customer. It gives the customer's shipping address right there. It gives if they paid for it. It gives if there's a return case, if they left you a negative review, just everything's right there. It speeds things up. It prevents mistakes. You can add little notes. There's just so much you can do. I'm gonna make a video on it eventually because it's great software. It's not the cheapest. It's the minimum is $60. You have to pay $20 per user, and you have to have a minimum of 3 users. So it's not the cheapest, but it really works so well that I think it's worth it. Dante wants to know what software you use to manage the store. Yeah, I'll have to get into that in another video because I want to show you guys what it all is. But yeah, there's some great stuff out there. Reply Manager is one of them. Monday wants to know at what point you need to start using gift cards because you process your orders with my PayPal account without any problem. Yeah, absolutely, Monday. I've had the same experience on Home Depot. PayPal works really, really well. But unfortunately, if I start using a VA, I don't want to give them access to my Home Depot account. And I actually tried. I set up a whole nother PayPal account and only put enough money in there to fulfill the orders, but they couldn't log in from where they were living in another country. PayPal just wouldn't let them log in. So once you start hiring VAs is probably when you want to start using gift cards on Home Depot. Dante wants to know how much is fees to lister. You'll have to look. I think it's like $12 a month, but you could just use, or maybe for a few days, but you just have to use it for a few days. You really have to, you only use it for a couple hours, and then you can cancel a subscription and resubscribe a few months later when you need it again. All right. Okay. Jessica wants to know, when is it advisable to create a corporation? So I have an LLC, a limited liability company, and that I started that after I started to see some serious profits, some serious regular profit. And I realized I wanted to take this more serious, that this was going to be an ongoing thing. It wasn't just going to burn out. So that was maybe after 8 months of doing this. Yes, I use TrackerBot for my tracking numbers. That's a good one. I've also tried UpDuck. Was it Update Duck? Yeah, which works just as well, I think. And the only one I don't like, I can't remember the name of it. Tracking Pigeon Robot. I don't like that one. I just didn't find it to work. Danish wants to know how to make sure your VAs don't cheat hours. So if you do it through Upwork will have like a log where it will take a picture every, 20 or 30 minutes to show you that your VAs are actually working. But that's not really useful because they could just leave the screen open and it will look like they're working when they're not. And besides, I don't even check it. I just kind of find VAs that I trust. I also know how long the tasks will take or supposed to take. And in the beginning, I'm kind of hard on my VAs. I tell them like, look, this should have taken you less time. Like, I know how long this is supposed to take. You have to get this done quicker. And that way they know there's the expectation right away that they can't just move along slowly at their own pace. They really have to hustle hard if they want to work for me. Let's Get Social Info wants to know what the break-even point is for setting up DSM Tool. So DSM Tool is cheap. There's a free trial. You get 50 listings for free, and it's forever. So there's no break-even point in that. And then you get 150 for $10. So it's very cheap. Okay. Hulk says he has a question for a tax guy, which I haven't gotten yet. Is cashback the way to use? Okay. So Hulk Gamer just wants to know if cashback is considered income. And unfortunately, I don't have a good answer for this. Everything that I've researched says no, it's not income. But I've talked to an accountant who says yes, it is. But I'm not sure if he knew what he was talking about. So I don't know is the answer. But I hope to know soon. Dante wants to know if I'm tax exempt in all states with Home Depot. Not all states, but most of them. All but, I think, 8. you have to get a certain form in order to get tax exempt in all but 8 states or whatever. I think it's 8. Okay. How did you learn to train VAs properly? I taught myself. Lots of trial and error, and it's not easy, but it's kind of fun, and and it's really important to do it right. Obviously, it took a lot of learning on my part. I've never really managed people before. I made some mistakes. I hired some people I shouldn't. I let some people keep working with me who shouldn't have kept working with me so long. So it's definitely a complicated process, but it's actually really fun for me to manage VAs, have a whole team working for me. I really, really like that part of my business a lot. Okay. How are your sales last week before Christmas? They were crazy, really good. What is this? Oh, I see. Sorry. Yes. So Ashley wants to know what my break-even percentage is in DSM Tool. I understand now. So in DSM Tool, you can set a break-even percentage. That is like, let's say an item costs $100 on Amazon, but you know that in order to break even, you have to sell it for, let's say, 120, theoretically speaking. So you want to make your break-even percentage 20% in that case. But the question is, what should your break-even point be? And that really depends on so many factors. Not only the cost of the item, but what source you're using, whether you're tax exempt from them, whether the source even charges taxes, whether you get cash back from them, and yeah. So it really depends. But yeah, you want to factor in the eBay fees of like 9%, PayPal fees of 3%. So that's 12%. Plus you got to add in tax. So that could be bump it up to over 20%. So like I said, it really depends. So Travis wants to know, what was the first aha moment when it really started to feel drop shipping where you felt like, okay, I know how to make money doing this now? Yeah, that's a great question. So I guess like early on, I had a couple of good products that sold really, really well. And for a while, I just thought I was lucky. I was like, these were great products. I found them, but I just feel like I got lucky with them. And then probably around September, when I got like $5,000 a month, like 2 months in a row, that's when I was like wow, like this is really working. Like this was a lot of work to get here, and I wasn't sure if it would work, but it's really working now. So I think it was really like that time when I realized it. Yeah. And then I remember I went to a meetup over the summer with some more experienced drop shippers, and I talked to them and I told them what I was doing, and they said, you know what, you're doing everything right, but just push it more. Like take what you're doing and bring it to the extreme. Like really, really do it more aggressively. And that's when I was like, that's when I really felt validated in what I was doing, because I was doing some great stuff, but I was kind of too afraid to take it even further and scale it up more. But that session really like motivated me to do more. Okay, what else? Lots of questions coming in. All right. Do you add shipping charges for small items to your eBay price calculators? Yeah, so I exclude the cost of shipping from my calculations because I always get free shipping now. Is Let's Get Social says, keep up the good work. Tuesdays, much watch YouTube TV. Thanks, I appreciate that. Dante wants to know, what weren't you doing before but doing now to really succeed? So I think it's just like understanding Home Depot better, listing the right kind of items. It's hard to really quantify and without really showing you guys on Home Depot like what items I pick. So I guess I'll make a video about that. But yeah, it was really about finding the right items and using the right listings for them, right titles for them. All right. Do I charge sales tax to buyers in New York? Yeah, so I live in New York and I'm registered to collect sales tax for New York. So yeah, I collect sales tax from New York customers. Are sales slowing down this week because it's getting close to Christmas? When will they pick back up? Yeah, sales started to slow down today. I imagine they're going to slow down the next couple days. And then after Christmas, I don't know what it's going to be like. It's my first year selling during Christmas. Do you outsource your VAs? Yeah, VAs, virtual assistants, are outsourced. That's kind of like the definition of them. Ashley once says she has 19% at her, her DSM break even point is 19%. I think that's a good percentage. That's the one I've been experimenting with myself. All right. Do you ever bulk listings or keyword optimize every title? Yeah, I don't do bulk listings. That's when you just list like 50 items or 100 items all at once. I optimize every single one of them. Someone has used Seller Guru. My VA told me it's better than Hydralist. I've never used Seller Guru. Sorry, Jessica. I don't know. Monday wants to know if I check competitors before listing items. No, I don't. I just list them. I know I'm going to pick a different title than them, and I'm hoping my title will be better. Superman Abdi wants to know what is the best software that is most affordable for beginners. Go to my description. I have a link to DSM Tool, and I think that's the best one for beginners because it's inexpensive and it works really well. Steve with Raking Profits in the house. Welcome, Steve. This great guy. Check out his channel. It's not about dropshipping, but he talks about a ton of other ways to make money online. He is a friend of mine from years ago. Great guy. So Dante wants to know if I make videos for virtual assistants to watch when you hire them. Yes, I do make videos for them. I have a whole video library that so I don't have to make the same videos over and over again. And videos are really key for training my VAs. And do all my VAs have prior eBay experience? So at first, I didn't really look too much for prior experience. I just looked for people who I thought would do well. Now I've learned that you really should find people with prior experience. It will make things so much easier. Yeah, Steve says hit that like button, everyone. I agree. Give this thing a thumbs up. I appreciate that, Steve. Let's see what else. Travis says he's struggling to make consistent sales with 230 listings. And he wants to know if it's a numbers game. Yeah, it's definitely a numbers game. You got to list more. 230 is not enough. Travis, what kind of sales are you having now? I just started another store. I have, about 60 items maybe. I've had 5 sales, and the store has been active for like a week. I don't think I've actually made any money. I just had 5 sales on them. Thanks. What else? When should I invest in dropshipping software? What amount of listings? Superman Abdi wants to know. That really depends on you and your budget and where you want to take it and what your listing limit is. If your listing limit's only 10, you really don't need listing software. But if you happen to get a high listing limit, I would invest in something like DSM Tool just because it's so cheap. $10 for 150 listings. Super easy, super cheap. You might as well for $10. And they have scalable plans after that that are really affordable. But if you only have 10 or 50 listing limit, you really don't need software for something that low. Superman wants to know, does DSM Tool list, reprice, and snipe competitors? Yes, sort of. Yeah, it will tell you what your competitors have it listed for, the price, and the description, and how many times they've sold it. So Dante wants to know, what part of my business do you dislike the most? I hate when I have right, it's whatever is taking up the most time, really. So before, at one point, that was fulfilling orders. Then it was doing tracking numbers. Then it was customer service. It's still kind of customer service. I actually don't mind customer service. I actually kind of like it. But it's just like the little tasks I have to do. like answering these emails, just the little things, like just so many little things. I hate having all these little things to do. So that's why I'm trying to hire a VA just to do all that for me because I can't stand doing it. I also hate chatting with Home Depot. It takes forever. Okay. Do I go to Home Depot to reload my gift cards? No, I do it online. Yeah, Ashley says, right. Sorry, Ashley, thanks for correcting me. DSM is free for the first 50 items. Thank you. Slipped my mind. So yeah, you might as well use DSM tool in the beginning because it's free for the first 50. It's always free. So you might as well use it. And then after that, it's very, very cheap to scale it. Travis says he's selling $1,400 in 31 days right now with only 230 listings. So probably not enough, right? So it seems like you are getting sales. You just got to list some more. 140 is 230 listings is not enough. You got to list more. You got to, not only because this is a numbers game, the more you have listed, the more you're going to sell, but also you got to figure out eBay more. I don't know how much you know about eBay already, but the more you list, the more you sell, the more you're going to understand the whole system, the better you're going to get at it. And that's really key. If Superman wants to know how to increase margins on Amazon, sorry, that's like not my territory. I'm trying to list on Amazon under my new store, and I agree, the margins are so slim. The competition is so tough out there. The only thing I found is that you can get an Amazon credit card, gives you 5% back. That's one way to increase your margins on Amazon. Thanks, Ashley. Joining Jeremy's here. Hey, Jeremy. I think Jeremy just moved back to Thailand. He's really living the life. I'm stuck in this cold, freezing New York City apartment. Alam wants to know if I use David Vu's 1.4 profit margin. No, not anymore. I think that's too high. You can go from like 1.25 to 1.35, or you could go higher, but depending on if you're selling the item and it's doing well. But I think as a default, 1.4 just doesn't work anymore. Nico wants to know if there are algorithms on eBay like there are on Amazon to help you gain more sales or higher placements. Yeah, so Amazon does have algorithms. They're super secret. Nobody knows really what helps you rank higher or anything, but there are algorithms. People speculate, obviously, and there's some things that we do know, like if you offer fast and free shipping, you're supposed to rank higher. If you have shorter turnaround times for shipping out items, well, that's similar to fast and free, you'll probably rank higher. But also I've noticed that the more you sell on eBay, the more you're going to sell, the higher you're going to rank. They just see that you're a good seller, that you're reliable, and they're going to rank you higher. Monday says he has very expensive items and sales are very slow. Yeah, depending on how new you are, or just anyone, you should have a mix of both expensive and inexpensive items because people come to eBay, they want to impulse buy, and they don't impulse buy expensive items. I do sell expensive items, but most of my items are inexpensive because that's where people will impulsively make purchases on those cheaper items. So if you really want to generate sales and get things going, list cheaper items. Okay. All right, we have about like 6 or 7 minutes. If anyone has any last questions before we wrap this up. So Dante says, hiring your first VA, what do you think the easy task should be to test them? You can do listing for them. That's an easy first task. Or you can do order fulfillment is actually not too hard either. What I had my first VA do is on Home Depot, I just had him enter all the addresses into the address book. So that way I was able to go in when I was ordering the items and I could just select the address that he already ordered and saved a lot of time. So that's a very easy task for them to do. Jessica wants to know how I handle out of stock sales. So I wait a couple days, see if it comes back into stock. And then if I can't find it anywhere else, which, honestly, everyone tells you you should go try to find the item at another source. I say about 95% of the time, I can't find it anywhere else. That's just been my experience. So I usually send them a message that says that the item was damaged. It was shipped out, but it was damaged, so it was returned to us. So, and we don't have any more in stock. Do you want to wait or do you want to cancel it? Superman wants to know any tips for beginners that are sniping with low profits. Don't know too much about sniping. Very new to it. Just trying it on this new store I've been working on. It's difficult because the margins are so low. So I don't really have too much more to say about that. If you're a new store, you got to get some credibility for your store, get some sales, get some reviews first. How many listings do you list a day? It depends. Some days I don't do any. Some days I'll do a whole bunch. So I really got to get more consistent with it. This month has been crazy with sales, so I haven't really had too much time, and I really got to train a VA to do it. But it's just about, I don't have the trust in a VA to really do it as well as I do. That's my biggest problem. So I got to really find a good one and train him or her really well. What's my handling time? 1 to 3 days. Somebody wants to know how you can increase your sales. That's unfortunately a very vague question. There's so many factors of how do you increase your sales. So if you're new, you just gotta get more reviews, get some sales going, maybe break even, just to get the ball rolling. Show eBay that you're able to make sales, get your listing limit increased, list a whole bunch of items, and just get the ball rolling, really, even if you don't make any money at first. All right, these are great questions, guys. I really appreciate it. I only have like 3 more minutes, so if anyone has a last minute question that you haven't asked yet, ask it now because we only have like 3 minutes or so. How is your feedback rating? Over 90%? Yes, over 90%. 98%. Yeah. Yeah, I managed to get all my negative feedback removed. Don't worry about the neutral ones, but the negatives all get removed somehow. Jeremy wants to know, do I notice a dip in sales on days when I cancel orders, have returns started? Not too bad. Not that I've noticed, actually. It's not something I've paid too close attention to. I can drive myself nuts trying to figure out why some days are lower than others, but there's really like no consistent reason that I've seen as to why it happens. Like today's a slow day for me. Like last time I checked, we were only at 3,000 and we've been like over 6,000 every day. So it seems like it's a slow day, but that just might be because people are done with their holiday shopping. There's so much factors that's hard to tell. But that would be interesting, Jeremy. I got to take a closer look at whether canceling sales or having returns kind of get penalized by eBay. That's something I'm going to keep closer track of. Jessica wants to know if I call to request a selling limit or wait for them to do it automatically. It's a mix. At first I called and then it just started happening automatically, but I still call if it doesn't get automatically increased. What percentage of feedback should you be worried at? I'm currently at 96%. When does it begin to affect your seller level? So it doesn't affect your seller level at all. I've called eBay about this. I've talked to them. It doesn't affect your seller level. But it does affect your the way you look to buyers. So you want to keep it as high as possible, as close to 100% as you can, just because it looks good to a potential buyer. Jeremy says, I just noticed your graph is so consistent. Well, it's consistently going up, but I got to make a more recent one because it's been going up and down a little bit more. If people are done with their shopping, should I keep listing or wait in 2 weeks? Do you mean if things have slowed down because of the holiday season? Then yeah, this is a good time to what I'm going to use this time to do is this weekend, I'm probably going to put our store in vacation mode for 3 days, just kind of take things easy, finally get a rest in. And then if things are slow next week, just spend that time listing and training VAs. Can I do a video on how to get negative feedback removed? I've actually done a video on that. I just haven't edited it yet. I have it recorded though. All right, guys, this has been great. I really appreciate everyone coming out, asking such great questions. If you have any questions for next week's Q&A, feel free to leave them in the comments of any of my videos, and I'll write them down and answer them. I'm going to be doing another video next Tuesday. That's the day after Christmas, if any of you remember. It will be at 8 p.m. Eastern time, and I hope to see you guys there. I hope you got some great value out of this. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. This is the second time I'm doing this. This is really great. We had more people this time than last time, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.